The chair now lays out HCR 29 and recognizes its sponsor, Senator Hall, to explain the bill.
Members, HCR 29 designates the second to last week in April as Texas Christian Heritage Week. In passing this resolution, we join Louisiana, Virginia, West Virginia, and Wisconsin in observing this week. Texas previously proclaimed the week in 1992 by proclamation of Governor Ann Richards, but it has not done so since. HCR 29 will ensure we are once again recognizing that week.
Members, are there any questions for Senator Hall?
Yes.
Senator Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senator Hall, have you heard of HCR 80 that was filed this session? House Concurrent Resolution 80?
I'm not familiar with it.
And it's not meant to be a test, and I don't know if you're familiar if I spell it out. HCR 80 was a bill to establish Muslim Heritage Month. And it was heard, I believe, on the same day as this bill, but it's been left pending in the House since April 27th. Do you think we ought to be hearing that bill at the same time we're hearing this one?
We hear the bills that come from the House. I have no idea.
Do you give you any pause that we seem to be elevating one religion over another through the power of the state?
Take the bills one at a time as they come.
In the abstract, do you feel that Americans and Texans in particular have an insufficient exposure to Christian beliefs and Christian heritage such that we need to draw attention to it through an act of the state government rather than rely on families and churches to instill in people religious beliefs and values?
That's something that everybody should decide for themselves. That's not part of this bill and not part of what we're doing here today.
Well, I agree with you, Senator Hall. It is something everyone should decide for themselves, which is why I'm concerned that and I just learned something about the in your layout. I did not know that Governor Ann Richards had by proclamation declared what precisely? Was it a Christian heritage something?
Same thing.
Yeah, that is interesting. So it's not completely without precedent, but I'm unaware of any act by a legislature to declare a Christian Heritage Month. That all other heritage observations that we've declared have pertained to ethnic and cultural origins, which is appropriate to remind us all of the wealth of diversity that we have in cultural and experiences in our backgrounds. But religion has always been a place that the state left to the people, the privacy of the home and the individual conscience. And so I think I'm probably speaking rather than asking at this point, and I'll stop. But you see where I'm coming from. I know you value limits on government, as do I. And I think this is yet another example added to the original proposition for chaplains in schools was not voluntary, but it was to allow chaplains to replace counselors, and we fixed that. We have the 10 Commandments being posted in classrooms. We have propositions to put Christian origin statues on the Capitol grounds, and now we have the legislature declaring Christian Heritage Month, something which seems to not be absent from our culture, as an act of the state. So I think it's getting harder and harder and harder for this legislature to declare that we believe in the principles enshrined in the First Amendment of the United States Constitution, that the state shall not impose religion upon the people. Okay. And that's why I think we shouldn't pass this resolution, with all due respect. And I come from a family of Christian faith and background myself and appreciate the teachings. But I think this isn't a place for the state to go.
Okay. Thank you, Senator
Johnson. If I'm
yes, go ahead
on this, and Senator Menendez, correct me if I'm wrong, but I know in education we heard several bills this session to where, because we take off time at Christmas and others, that we gave other religions and the ability not to have to go get passes to be able, that we took the parents' word that if they were at mosque or whatever, that they were exempt, and whether we now look at STAR tests that are going to be on days that don't conflict with other religions. And it may not be at the same volume, and I'm not going to judge on that, but I do know, or I personally believe, I feel good about the fact that we are looking at those, and we have passed them out in a nonpartisan way.
I do too. Okay. I do too. I'm glad we're doing those things. It's very decent of us.
All right. Members, are there any other questions to the author? If not, we'll open up now. HCR 29, is there anybody wishing to speak on, for, or against HCR 29? Hearing none, public testimony is now closed. Members, Senator Parker moves that HCR 29 be reported to the full Senate and that it do pass and be printed. The clerk will call the roll.
Senator Hall.
Aye.
Senator Springer.
Aye.
Senator Alvarado. Senator Johnson. Senator Menendez.
Present.
Senator Middleton. Senator Parker.
Aye.
4 ayes, 1 nay, 1 P and D. And President.
Does it take 5 to pass? Does it
Takes
take
4 to pass.
Takes 4 to pass. There being 4 ayes, 1 nay, 1 present not voting, HCR 29 is favorably reported.
And that's it. Okay. And then just,
We're at the end.
Why am I miscounting our committee so bad every time?
right there.
Members, is there any other business to come before the committee? Hearing none, the Senate Committee on Administration will recess. Is there any objection? Hearing none, so ordered. Thank you, members.